சார் நீங்க இதில் பார்த்துக்கிறீங்களா? நான் யூடியூப் பார்க்கட்டுமா?
ஓகே சார்.
இந்த சந்திரகுட்டியை வந்து இது பண்ணுங்க சார், அவன் தான் ரொம்ப டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்றான்.
ஓகே ஓகே சார்.
சார் நமக்கு யூடியூப் வருது சார், வந்துச்சு.
ஓகே ஓகே ஃபைன்.
அட்மிட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? இன்னும் ஒரு 5 minutes we can start.
எஸ் சார்.
ஆமா அஸ்வின் சார். ஓ வாவ் சூப்பர்.
Father Vijay's now present online.
Yes, now the okay. No issue. Hello.
Hello, Vidya ma'am. Mr. Surya sir, kindly rejoin. Mr. Surya sir, kindly rejoin. Mr. Surya sir, kindly rejoin.
Solomon, Surya is presenting. Can I just ask him to close it, please?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Can I just ask him to close it, please?
Sure, sir.
Solomon, there is only one glitch in this. When I start sharing my PowerPoint presentation, I'm not in the group video. So basically, you should be the one who will be stopping all the sharing. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sure.
Surya is still sharing the video.
Sir, 1 minute. Mr. Surya sir, can you please rejoin? Mr. Surya sir, rejoin. Mr. Surya. Rejoin.
Solomon, I cannot share. I'm sorry. I'm just still trying to share present. It's not happening. Yeah, I'm presenting now. I can see that.
I request the participant to mute their audio and video. Those who clicked on the icon presentation, kindly rejoin.
Solomon, can you start? It's 10:30 now.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Do we need to inform Father Adakalam? Father Adakalam said there will be some prayer.
Yes, Father. Yes, Father. Yes, sir. I'm waiting for the Father's reply.
Yes, sir. We can start now.
Yes, sir.
Hi,
I welcome all the participants for the webinar series 1, session 2, human resource practices in pandemic COVID-19. Now I welcome Father Adakala Swami to lead us in prayer. Father?
Yes. Dear participants, I wholeheartedly welcome you all for the international series. This is the second session. Let us invite the Holy Spirit among us. The presence of the Lord will lead us. Let us all close our eyes and let us pray to the Lord. Abba Father, Almighty God, in your mighty name, we surrender our international webinar series into your hands. Now, with your support and blessings, we are having the second session, and especially we, the St. Joseph's College and the Department of Commerce, we are receiving a lot of blessings from you. Especially, we seek your blessings on Mr. Ashwin Rajkumar, who is our resource person. Lord, send your spirit among all of us so that we will be inspired by your Holy Spirit. I also surrender our founder and chairman, Reverend Father J. Arulraj, into your hands. And I surrender our administrator, Reverend Sister Dr. K. Sandhya, And also we remember our principal, Dr. Ruben, vice principals, all our HODs and staff members, and all our participants. Lord, be with us, strengthen us. Mother Mary, intercede for us. Saint Joseph, intercede for us. We ask this prayer through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
And, I request our head of the department, Reverend Father Dr. Radhikla Sami, to deliver a welcome address.
Thank you, Solomon sir.
Yes,
Dear
Father.
participants, it's a great event in the history of St. Joseph's College. St. Joseph's College Arts and Science is in KOVUR and nearby Kundratu. It is run by the DMI sisters, and the founder is Reverend Father J. Arulraj, and it's a charitable institution. More than 4,000 students they are studying, especially the students they are coming from the rural background, and they are studying in this college. And we, the PG Department of Commerce, is a big department, and we have the divisions of BCom CS, BCom A&F, and also we have our sister concern BBA, and we have more than 1,500 students in our stream. And today, in this pandemic period, the students and the staff members, they are at home. And so in the field of commerce, human resource is the lifeblood of the business. So when we look the human resourcing in the pandemic period, and we are looking for different resource persons. But in my mind, Mr. Ashwin Rajkumar is a reliable person, and he has the rich experience in the field of human resource. And presently he is working in UAE, and he is a senior advisor, and he is working in different fields. And I'm sure, and he is the right person to address human resource practices during pandemic COVID-19. And he is the well-known human resource personnel in the field of management, as well as he is working in the very renowned company in UAE, and he is the person sitting in the panel for recruiting, performance appraisal, and all other activities. Now, during this season, and we are having Ashwin Rajkumar as a resource person. Dear sir, we are happy to have you as a resource person. By God's grace, we got you. And I also pray and wish you that God will bless you abundantly, and you will have the good health and prosperous life. And also I welcome our founder chairman, Reverend Father J. Arulraj, our administrator, Reverend Sister K. Sandhya, our principal and vice principals, all HODs and all staff members, and dear participants. And without you, we are not having the International webinar series. And I will not take much time. So now I hand over the session to our resource person. With this small introduction, I welcome you all for this International webinar series, session 2. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Solomon, sir, for asking me to deliver the welcome speech. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Father.
Dear people, this is Ashwin signing in. I'm signing in from UAE, Dubai, and I'm working here for last 12 years in this country, and with 2 years experience in India, so almost 14 years experience now. And Mr. Solomon, I'll just ask your help to stop the other people's screening, because I'm going to go to my presentation.
Yes,
so
sir, sure,
please
sir.
because
Yes,
I'm going to go to the presentation now. Okay.
Okay,
So
okay.
let's. I welcome you all for my presentation for under the topic human resources practices during pandemic COVID-19, which is simply called as new normal for everyone that we are undergoing now. Just a quick brief about what I'm doing here and where I'm working. I work for in the construction industry, and we do have several different sectors, especially infrastructure, building, marine, and MEP, facility management, and joinery and interiors. Our operations happens in UAE as well as in Qatar, and total strength of our company, you can say it's almost like 12,000 plus. And in the staff cadre, we have around 2,900 plus, and in labor and skilled cadre, we have almost like 9,000 plus. And all our skilled and labor are accommodated in our own premises, camp accommodation. And we do have ongoing projects in UAE and Qatar, almost like 40. The reason why I want to give you a brief about my construction sector is because when I'm going to explain about the pandemic and the HR role in this pandemic, I want you to understand or imagine the structure and the width of location that what we are covering now. So, of course, in this current generation, we all come to know about what is pandemic basically. Some of us, even including me, I don't know the meaning of pandemic almost like 2 years back. No, I have heard, but now we are experiencing, everyone is experiencing what is pandemic. So basically, this is our call for facing the difficult side of the life. It's okay, we will do that. So when we go into the topic here, what I can say is like, this, first we have to differ. What is the impact of this pandemic in an individual and on a company? Basically, when you say about the impact on an individual, it is like more of the movement restrictions happens, infection spread is happening, the panic situation is happening, and excessive stress of the involved by the individual, and the financial burden experienced by the individual, and difficulties in day-to-day life. Basically, whatever it may be, this pandemic to be faced with courage and with strategy in order to survive in this current situation. So when it comes to the company-wise, what all a company as an organization, what it will experience during this pandemic? A project delay, a cancellation of job awards, any new job which is going to come to the company, it will be cancelled because of the delay in the movements and other things, and payments are not received on time, and there is block in the revenue and cash flow management, and lack of funds for the payroll, and there will be numerous health hazards, and the disinfection management has to undergo in various different sectors. So in this current pandemic situation, this is a very critical situation where we need to enhance our skills and to extend help for the individuals working in our company in order for them to feel safe and secure and continue the work, whatever it may be. Whether the situation is pandemic or not, the ball has to move on, and we need to proceed with the current day-to-day work activities, because that is our breadwinner for our work, the breadwinner for our life, and even for our family. So, and even people working in abroad like me, the family we need to support in India, there are so many other responsibilities. So whether it is a pandemic or not, the ball has to move on. So I want to tell you that, here in UAE, the construction sector, it has been classified as a critical sector, because the critical sectors, health sector, as well as hospitality and construction and banking. We have several critical sectors. Even during this pandemic, we are still working as normal. Of course, we do go with all kind of safety issue, like safety equipments. Like for example, we do have our masks and gloves and sanitizers and isolation wards, quarantine wards. There are so many things in which during the pandemic also we still start working as normal, which we call as a new normal. Basically, in a company, okay, the operational wise, the company will run out. All problems, all these problems will be managed operationally by the senior management and everything. But what happens in a pandemic? When it comes to a pandemic, even the senior management doesn't have a way through to look forward what is going to happen and how are we going to proceed with that. That is where the human resources department, being a support function, they transform themselves to a lifesaver department. Basically, when I say a lifesaver, it is going to help the employee as well as the employees. So basically, it is a win-win situation where we need to manage with the employees' issues as well as the employer issues. So that is what being carried out now. So when we get into the in-depth of this situation, what are the strategies which we follow? What are the strategies which we follow to enhance our work capabilities in this current pandemic situation? The first main criteria which HR has to look after is business continuity. I'm sorry, someone is interrupting.
Yes, sir. Deepa Randi ma'am, kindly mute your audio. Deepa Randi ma'am.
Yeah, let me continue. So what are the strategies which we follow in the current pandemic situation in the department? In conjunction with all the senior management, we have taken 3 different sectors, which is the main 3 strategies which we need to follow in this current situation to be the survival of the fittest. Basically, business continuity. No matter what, the business has to move on. The operations has to function amidst COVID situations. Employee life can't be put under threat. Employer must have enough funds to serve the employees and pay their salaries on time to support them in their needs. So by end of the day, we have to run the show. That is what we call as business continuity. So when it comes to business continuity, we have 5 different sectors like organization redesign, job redesign, compensation restructuring, hiring strategy, and talent management. So these are the 5 different verticals which HR is now accessing for surviving in the pandemic.
Okay.
Why these main 3 sectors? For what reason? Just 3 main sectors were selected because of restructuring and streamlining, trimming the fat, increasing the efficiency, and to control and redirect towards the success. Okay, in the first point, the business continuity, organization redesign. In conjunction with work with the senior management, HR department has to study and create a new structure of the organizational department. Basically, the unwanted sectors or the luxury sectors, we can say, for example, even in HR, the development and training or trial and error method, or even a designing team where the due course of a project which is in the handover stage or in the midway of the project where the design is not prepared. So we have to have a new structure of the top management as well as the supervisor management. And we have to assess the current workload on what kind of reorganizational design that we are going to do, because we don't know what is the workload pending. Because of this pandemic, there are so much of workload pending. So you have to assess the workload and then you have to restructure your organizational structure. And the next one is like identify your key players, because you know what, even though in this current pandemic situation, there are some key players in the companies, whereas like operational directors, we can say, or the project directors, or a quantity surveyor in a commercial department, where these people always deal with the cost, always deal with the funds which we have, because any mistakes if these people do, it will reflect in a very bad manner, and then it will have a big fine bill on your table. So identify those key players. But first of all, keep them safe, give them the proper and enough kind of an environment, as well as what is the technology they require, provide them with that, and then make them work peacefully, so that at least they will concentrate in the work and in order to not to slip from their hands. And trim the excess load. Basically, the trim the excess load means, what I'm saying is like, if a function is a luxury to you in this current situation, if a function is a luxury to you, we should not have it. Basically, you should have only the necessary things which you need to do in the current organization, and remove the duplicates. If in case if you have a person who is a document controller and you have a document controller manager, of course it's a duplication of work. Basically, a document controller can still do that instead of a manager. So remove your duplicates, and if possible, outsource it. All your design, all your environmental activities, like all your reports and stuff, if in case if you can outsource it or you can automate it on your go, yes, that will be more helpful to proceed with that. So the next comes is a job redesign. For example, anyone, for example, has a job, a role, and a responsibility that needs to be relooked. Basically, a person to be given a more responsibility now, and to enhance his skills and to empower him, he needs to come up his ladder and then provide some kind of efficient work which will favor the company. And this relook of job designations has to happen from the top management to the bottom management. Yes, there are some head cuts will happen, but we can't avoid it now. We need to do that. This is a necessary function which we need to do. This redesigning of the job roles and responsibility, this is happening only to ensure the maximum productivity in the site. Because whatever happens, the construction industry, it will not work like a software industry or an IT sector, because the construction has to happen physically in the site premises. We can't do it on a work from home basis. No, the site engineers, the quantity surveyors, the foreman, the charge and the safety engineers, they need to be on site physically, even though it's a pandemic situation, in order to deliver the projects within the time. Because why I'm saying is, most of the projects which we do are basically, they are government oriented projects, because they might be having some airports upcoming, some bridges upcoming. So these are some government projects which need to be done. So ensuring the job redesigning and then relooking the job roles and responsibilities is very much important. And implement succession planning. For example, if your senior management got COVID positive, he can't work. So what to do? You have to have a succession planning. Maybe you have to have a deputy or an assistant person to step into his shoes, and this kind of a succession planning has to happen in a very methodological way. Of course, the next point is quite a difficult point. Basically, it's a company compensation restructuring. 100%. This is a very difficult point, because in this current situation, no one is going to accept your salary deduction or something. But to be frank, we have to give the breathing space to the employer who feeds us, who pays our salary. Basically, like, it is necessary to trim the fat and to have some reductions in the temporary reductions in the basic salary, whereas their allowances is not to be touched. Basically, allowances should be given as it is, because, for example, people will be staying in a camp accommodation, people will be staying on a private accommodation with their own transportation cost. There are so many other things that are involved in that. So the compensation restructuring is also one of the main factors which we need to take into consideration. So there is a temporary, the HR has introduced a temporary reduction on these basic salaries, but it will be repaid as incentives when we go to the phase from new normal to normal. This is what the commitment given for the senior management to us, and we are delivering the same. So the compensation restructuring is an unavoidable thing at this current scenario, which we need to happen, so that the employer has... Sorry again. Can you hear?
Yes, sir, we're able to.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll continue with that.
Yes,
so the next business continuity activity is hiring strategy. Basically, even though you have to let go of people, but there are some key roles which is really important to continue in the business. So how to identify the key roles? Right now in this current situation, due to the job award cancellation or due to the project on hold or whatever, so many reasons, there are people losing job, and there are hundreds and hundreds of available talents in the market. So being in the HR department, identify those talents, because this is the right time to keep them high, to hunt them, and then keep it in your records, so that when there is a necessary time, you can really reach out to the people and get them hired on your company. Whereas you will easily can find any niche skill available in the market now. Any niche skills who are specific capabilities for a SAP consultant or a BIM consultant or whatever it may be, when you call it for a design or for a commercial activity or a risk consultant or whatever. So these are the niche skills, and people with those niche skill sets are available in the market now because of their job losing issues. So what happens now is, like, this is a very good time to fish in the market for the best and the bigger fish. So hiring strategy is 100% important to carry out in this business continuity, because when you come back to the normal phase of recruitment back, so you have to have right people on the right position to deliver your projects. And next is the talent management. The talent management is basically, like, you have to fix the training gaps in the management and even in the supervisory level, so that the key players who are all very much important to work in a site, they have to be clearly trained with enough number of their knowledge and with the job knowledge, and as well as with their training on the job or off the job or whatever. They have to provide they have to identify the key players and provide them a proper kind of trainings, and also involve job rotations to enhance their skills. Because people who are little boredom of doing the same job, and that too in this current mental trauma, they are quite not happy to proceed with their job because of this work from home or stay inside the home or whatever the situation that what we have now. So job rotations will literally make the job interesting for them, because it's a new position that they are working on. They are continuing with their own creativity to work on the new positions with interest. Say they go forward with that. So this is very much required for the talent management, job rotation activities or schedule that need to be done. And even from the senior management, they have to assign task oriented goals or short term goals in order to monitor the productivity in the site or in the company. Because when there is no clear monitoring happening, then it is a very difficult situation to see what is happening on the other side of the thing, because everyone cannot go physically and check it as like before. But now it has to, everything to be monitored, the reports has to come on time, and this reports has to be analyzed, and the commercially it has to be sustaining, so that it will help in the projects to get profits, or its projects will go on the loss. So this is the first point of business continuity. When it comes to the next one, employee support and well-being. Basically, employee support, this is one of the main criteria now. It's being handled by HR department. Of course, earlier also we do have provided employee support, but here the employee support during a pandemic, it has to be on 24/7. And you need to be available. And just imagine, you are not in your home country, you are in a foreign country, and then any issue with respect to COVID, or any issues with respect to your health, or with the family, or anything of that sort, how the people can help, who can help the people, how they can come for the help, how they can ask for the help. Only in this foreign country you are an expat. Like many other different national people available here, you are an expat. So what has to be done? You have to have one point of contact from HR to help those needy of your employees, help those need of the employees. Basically, example what I'm saying is, like, as a HR, I work as a bridge between my employees and the government health officials to manage the COVID. And I also work as a bridge between my employees and the health insurance providers to cover the expenses of those COVID. Basically, the COVID expenses are too high. Those bills always hits the sky, because this is a situation where people are literally minting money, and also people who are getting drowned like anything because of their non-capability to survive in the current situation. So being a HR, provide them with proper health insurance, provide them with the proper support, and always have a touch with the government health officials to properly manage your COVID people, and have your own isolation and quarantine facilities where you can still help those people to manage how to save. For example, I'm a family person, I do have a family, and I'm going daily and I'm going to work daily and coming. So basically, I am spending my larger part of office time outside my home. When I come back, I may be COVID, but to be frank, if I'm COVID, I have to provide myself, I have to isolate myself. But having a family with me, my kids are here, my family is here, so I cannot be isolated in my own home. I have to have a separate isolation facility or a quarantine facility where I have to go and stay away. So these kind of facilities are managed by HR department. We talk to the hotels, we do have our own camps, we have a separate camp for an isolation and quarantine centers. And these are the help and these are the support which we provide an employee for his own well-being. As a government instruction, we are now operating only with 30% of staffs. We are not having the 70% staffs on the work. So 30% staffs who are working, for sure we will be paying the salaries, but what about the 70%? So we have to identify those people. So we have to identify those needs, those support. So job rotation activities, which I told you earlier, which is very much essential. So this 30% and 70%, the rotation happens on a schedule, and this has to be managed by HR department. So there are various sectors of divisions. I'm sorry, I'm getting interrupted again. Can I continue?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Sorry. Yeah, this operationally, what we are managing is like 30 and 70% on a remote and rotational basis. This is one of the schedules which HR is issuing to the employees to manage it, so that everyone gets a chance to work. And even though they work only 20 days a month, or only 25 days a month, or only 15 days a month, it's up to the schedule. But whether you like it or not, we have to take it forward. And the next is people that I told you, the labor and skilled employees, or the laborers or the skilled staffs. They are almost like 9,000 people in our camp facilities. When these camp facilities, They do have separate isolation and quarantine centers, as I told you, but the disinfection management for them is quite a very critical and important thing which we are doing now. We are having companies working with us, like facility management companies, even our own facility management division. They are working with us for disinfection of those premises in offices, sites, and camps, and everywhere. And another most difficult thing to handle is the site working culture, the site working structure, because, for example, the social distancing needs to be done, and there should be someone who's monitoring it, even though the safety departments are monitoring it. But we as a HR department, we have a clear structure of set of rules which we have framed, and then we have given it to the safety department to manage it. So this disinfection, as well as this social distancing, and as well as covering the site, offices, camp facilities, and isolation wards and quarantine wards, everything is managed by the HR department. That's what I told you. Being a support function earlier, now we are a lifesaver department in the company, and we are now streamlining and steering the company moving forward. Next, the situation what we are having is like the workforce recovery. Okay, all these things happen. Yes. Now, thank God that we are seeing that the COVID patients numbers are coming down and the spread is quite controlled. So soon, from this new normal, we will be going back to the normal. That can happen anytime. And when you go back to from the new normal to the normal phase, that is anticipation phase, but we can't ignore what are all the precautionary measures that we have taken all these days. This precautionary measures, what I can say is like the safety and not putting an employee on a threat, and employee well-being, employee support, and redeploying the full strength to their maximum efficiency. So these are the tasks which we need to consider now from the new normal phase to the normal phase, because we are expecting, for example, in this current situation, the government has given an initiation to bring back the employees from the 30% to 50 to 70 and to 100. So there are steps, and then each and every step they have almost like 45 days to 30 days gap. So basically each and every set of employees, they will be joining us back from the new normal stage to the normal stage, whereas we'll soon be back with the 100% employee strength in the company. So redeploying them with the full strength and redeploying them with the safety measures and not threatening their life, it's also one of the main tasks which we are currently doing it. And when it comes to the site premises, yes, we do have a proper management. When it comes to office, what happens? What happens in the workplace restructuring? This workplace restructuring is also another activity which we are doing. Basically, even though the workplace, even though we have cubicles, for example, we can't expect people to be very much concerned about their work, because they may sneeze, they may cough, they may have a cold, common cold, but the person next to him is quite afraid to work, so he is not willing to work next to him. So basically, when we are back to the normal stage of 100% strength, there is a requirement of workplace restructuring. So this workplace restructuring, as per the health and the authority norms, HR is designing the new kind of a workplace restructuring, which is managed right now. And these are all the new tasks, and these are all the things which we haven't handled all these years. So now this is called a disaster management, and this is what is happening at present right now. And by this slide, I think I have come to my end of the slides. Basically, I have now given you a structure about what's happening and an idea about what's happening in a Gulf region, about how management is happening for HR, and what we are doing now to protect our employees and keep them safe and stay safe and to flatten the curve, and how to enhance our skills in this current situation. So thank you all for listening to me. I think I have finished within the time. Mr. Solomon, is it fine that I have finished, or I still have time?
Yes, sir. You have time, sir. You can.
Okay, fine. So in that case, I would like to enhance some more topic for the talent management. So when it comes to talent management in the business continuity, the talent management sector, what we are doing right now, it has to enhance and empower every individual, and their contribution has to be recognized. Their contribution has to be recognized. And this contribution, why I'm saying is like, for example, a junior staff, if he is not given an opportunity to excel himself, to improve his talents, and he has to come up in life, an opportunity has to knock his door. Unless and until, it's not going to happen. So this talent management, you have to have an in-depth study of the person, what he is doing, what is his educational qualifications, and what he can proceed with and prolong in further future. So this study has to happen on an individual basis, and it has to happen on a basis from top to bottom, from the top management to the junior management, with supporting documents such as their performance skills evaluation, their training and developmental records, and everything. So Mr. Solomon, I think I have finished my stuff. I don't want to elaborate it more. So thanks for this opportunity, and thanks for this time. And can I just say thanks to Father?
Father, I request now participants to ask questions. Sir will answer your questions. You can post your questions in the chat box if anybody have any questions.
Ashwin sir, there is a question from Viveka Maria.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, please.
In other sectors, excluding construction field, when everyone wants to either downsize or lay off employees, do you think once we go to normal phase, will they hire more employees according to the workload, or they may ask the current employees to continue to have more workload?
See, they cannot pressure the current employees to have more workload, because they are coming from a new normal phase to a normal phase. Depending upon the workload, depending upon their job requirement, the hiring has to start, because there is always a cycle. The management is always a cycle. This cycle works on and on. Now we are undergoing a difficult situation where people has to downsize. But in the future, when the job is coming back from the new normal to normal, 100% the hiring strategy and hiring has to start. And it will be new employees, and it will give opportunities for everyone to get interviewed, and there will be so many opportunities going to come. Because being in Dubai now, just two days back, the government issued a notice that there will be people coming back soon in different cases, back to the 100%. But when you talk about the workload, they are now, even now, they are analyzing the future workload, and there are job opportunities already rising in the market. So don't worry, we will have new hires happening.
So another question from Viveka Maria. In other sectors, excluding construction field, when everyone wants to either downsize or lay off employees, do you think?
Sorry, Solomon. Solomon, this is the same question I answered now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So another question from Vaishnavi. Sir, what can be expected out of HR department when it comes to recruiting new blood in the organization, considering that the COVID pandemic has put the employment of current employee at stake?
See, right now, when your system is ongoing, when you are working together, like even though in the current pandemic situation, we work from home or whatever things still happens, the current people, what we have, of course, their job is at stake, 100%, no worries in that. But when we go from new normal to normal, there are opportunities arising for different people, and because it is not happening automatically, it is happening because of the workload increase. So the workload increase will be tenfold. It can't be one-fold or two-fold, it will be tenfold and 40-fold. So HR department will look for fresh blood, of course, as you said, new blood, but it has to have some skills. what kind of skills we require. For example, when we have to handle lots of like document management, there is a software called Iconics. People as a normal document controller who trace labels in the system and then who works with the hard copies will not work. But a person with the software skills like Iconics, for sure, he will be called for a new opportunity. So during this pandemic, enhance your skills. You need to enhance your skills and keep yourself updated in the market. The pandemic is not stopping you from learning. You learn, you enhance your skills, and when the right opportunity comes in, grab it.
Sir, I have a personal questions regarding our students. Our final year students almost completed their degree. How will be the HR department in future? Because concerning COVID-19, how will be the HR department in future?
See, it is not only a person. Sorry. The question is like, it is not only the construction companies which are where the HR are delivering right now. It is everywhere. So HR is the managing because they are the people who are always in constant touch with the whole strength of the company. Okay, so this is where the HR role becomes very critical and very important. So in the future, the field of HR, there will be lots and lots of opportunities, and a person who wants to excel in HR, of course, there are so many certifications. They need not be an MBA. They need not be a person who is qualified in HR. They have so many different certifications like CIPD, like CHRP, HRCP. There are so many different certifications which, even though they have MCOM and BCom, they can do the certification and they can get into HR field.
Okay, sir. Sir, another more question. A little bit change in that. What are the issues students will face when they come out of their final year after this pandemic, and how challenging it will be for them?
What are the issues students will face when they come out of the final year?
Yes, sir, exactly.
Very simple. The thing is like, when we come out of the pandemic, when you come out of the pandemic, there is a time scale, whether we are coming out within months or whether we are coming out within years. Because as per the World Health Organization, the current pandemic situation, what they are expecting, they say the social distancing and everything will need to continue for the next 2 years. Yes, but that doesn't mean the workload has to come down. That workload is still there. Whatever that your company or your management promised that they have to deliver, whether it is an IT sector, whether it's a construction sector, whether it's a hospitality sector, that need to be done, that need to be delivered on time. So of course there will be a huge competition as well as in the job market. But during this pandemic, including the people who are freshers, there will be employed with experienced people will also be competing in the same market. So a fresher keeping a first step in a good position will be a quite difficult situation, whereas we have to compete not only with the fresher of the same cadre, you have to compete with the experienced people also.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all our participants' questions. And we are at the conclude of the session. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us for the entire session, and you addressed us in very important topic. Dr. Wazima Yasin, as one of our participants, has mentioned a nice session, sir. And thanks to the organizers for bringing up this session at the job crisis situation due to pandemic. We thank you, sir, from wholeheartedly. We are waiting for another more session with you. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you for all the listeners. And as I told you earlier, if you guys need my contact, you can contact the college, St. Joseph College, Mr. Solomon or Father Adekalam. They can help you in contacting me. Thanks a lot. Thanks for all your patience.
Thank you so much, sir.
Can I log out?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Next question.
Now I request our participants, I invite participants, our webinar third series is going to held. Kindly check your mailbox. You find the link of the third session. Thank you all.
Dear participants, you can fill the feedback and you will get the certificates. And we are going to start our third session at 3 p.m. So kindly register yourself prior 10 minutes and you will be accepted. Since we have limited participants, kindly come 10 minutes before for every session. And tomorrow we have 2 sessions. Tomorrow at 12 p.m. we have the first session and the second session will be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And the third series will be on 31st May. And we are going to have the first session at 10 a.m. and the second session will be 3 p.m. For any queries, you can contact HOD.com at the rate of St. Joseph college.ac.in. For any further inquiries, you can.
Sir, what about first session?
Solomon will
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Sir, what about first session feedback form, sir?
Yes, sir. We posted in the chat box. Kindly find the.
Not working, sir.
We will share it again, sir. We will share it again for your reference.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot.
If you are not, if they are not getting, they have to check it after 5 p.m. So it will be open. Sir, any other information you have to share, sir? Solomon, sir?
Yes. You will find your feedback forms in the chat box. You can fill it anytime. Thank you all. And join us for the next session. Thank you.
Solomon, sir, stop recording.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Sir, this session feedback link, sir.
So 1 minute. 1 minute, I will be sharing. 1 minute, I will be sharing. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Solomon, sir, இது feedback link இன்னொரு முறை போட்டுருங்க சார்.
Father, 1 minute, Father.
Okay.